Yes, hello, grade 10s. Hope you're doing fine. This is Patrick Kamala. I am a tutor and educator for mathematics and physical sciences, grades 9 to 10. And if you're interested in this video, please, you can like it and even your comments on YouTube. We are so glad to read them and reply them. Now, my number is 0785 222 041. In case you want to join our extra classes, or in case you want to have the question paper, which I'm discussing right now. Okay. Now, these corrections we are going to do because they're going to prepare you for your test, which is due on the 27th of September. That's on Monday. So, guys, now that you're not making noise in class, I think we can do something. Okay. Now, question 1 was saying that, by the way, grade 9s, get your question paper and as you watch the video, do the corrections again. Okay. The question was saying here that, okay, it says, in the triangle ABC, BC is produced to D. The size of A in terms of X is, so the size of A in terms of X is, so we want to find out this angle here. Okay. Let me highlight the angle I'm talking about here. So this angle, this is angle A in terms of X, meaning that we want it using the X values. Okay, maybe 3X, 12X, what. Okay. Now, how do we find this one here? Please note something here. Now, in mathematics, especially in geometry, when you have two interior angles added together, that is this angle. Now, when I say interior, I mean inside the triangle. No? So this angle plus this one here, it must give me this one here. Let me put it in red. So note something here, that these two angles in blue, they are called interior angles. Are we together? Now, they are interior because they are found inside the triangle. And then this angle, which is in red, is called exterior because it is found outside the triangle. And don't forget that this exterior angle must be gotten by extrapolating, by drawing a line from one of the angles which are inside. So as you see, this one was done by having a line from B through C and then D. Okay. Now, note something. When you add these angles, that is angle A. When you add angle A, like I said, angle A plus angle B, okay, plus angle B. Now we must get the exterior angle, which is angle what? Which is 5x in this case. Okay. Let me say this again. When you add two interior angles, that is B and A, you get the exterior opposite angle, which is 5x here. So as you see from our diagram here, my angle B is 3x, so I'm gonna say 3x here, 3x here, and then plus angle B, I beg your pardon, my angle B 3x, not the A. Okay. Actually, the question is looking for angle A, angle what? Angle A. So if I add angle A, that's what I'm looking for. Looking for angle A, and then I add it with angle B. Now angle B is the 3x, so plus 3x, plus 3x. Then I'm going to equate it to what? 5x. So in other words, I'm solving for angle A. Now talk to me, what is 5x minus 3x? What is 5x minus what? Minus 3x. So as you can see, because this is positive, it becomes minus, which means that my angle A equals to what? Angle A equals to 5x minus 3x. So what is 5x minus 3x? What is 5x minus 3x? Talk to me, please. I think you said the right answer. 5x minus 3x is what? It is 2x. So that is our answer. It is what? It is 2x. And as you can see from your question paper, 2x is option A. So it means our answer is A. So that's our answer here. I hope, guys, we are together. Let us proceed. Then next question, what does it say? Question 1.2. Let's check it out here. It seems I've got a small problem here concerning my laptop, but hope it's gonna get fine. What does next question say? What does next question say here? As I wait for the laptop, what does it say? You can check in your question paper there. Next question says that okay, yeah, it is fine now. It is fine, guys. Question 1.2, it says that the straight line graph defined by y equals 2x minus 4 will cut the y-axis at, let me say it again, the straight line graph defined by y equals 2x minus 4 will cut the y-axis at. Now this line, it's a straight line, like they've said. Now if it's going to cut the y-axis, it means at that point where we are cutting the y-axis, note something important there, that our x must be 0. So when we say cutting the y-axis, it means x must be what? X must be 0. So when the line cuts the y-axis, please note that x equals to what? X equals to 0. Let me say it again. When they say the line cuts the y-axis, x equals to 0. And when they say that the line cuts the x-axis, then y equals to 0. Okay. So it means in my equation here, where there is x, I'm going to put 0. So watch this out. So I'm going to say that y equals to 2, but multiplied by 0, that is 2, multiplied by the 0. Okay. And then minus what? Minus 4. Okay. Now talk to me. What is 2 times 0? 2 times 0 is 0, right? What about 0 minus 4? Now 0 minus 4, I don't think you need a calculator to do that. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. So my y is negative 4. What about our x? You're not so forgetful, right? Our x is 0. So look at the answers. Which answer gives us 0 is to negative 4? 0 is to negative 4. As you can see, guys, here, our answer is C, because that is 0 is to negative 4. I hope we are together. Let us proceed in case we are together. Next page. 1.3 says that the transformation of triangle ABC to DEF is called. Now let me read it again. The transformation of triangle ABC to triangle DEF is called. Okay. Now what's a transformation? Now in grade 9, the transformations which we have reflection, we have got a translation, we've got a reduction, also enlargement. Okay. Now something to talk about here. If it is going to be reflection, and I see this triangle from here to here, now reflection is not correct here, because if I put my mirror here, if I put my mirror here, you can see the distance from this y-axis to D is 1 unit. But distance from y-axis to A, it is what? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 6 units, which means it's not a reflection, because the distance from the mirror to the object is not equal to the distance from the mirror to the image, so that's not a reflection. Okay, what about reduction? Now this triangle is the same size as the image, so it was not reduced. What about enlargement? Now this triangle again is the same size as this triangle, so it was not enlarged. But again, check that out now. Now this point A has been moved from this position to point D. Now in mathematics, when we slide something from one position to another without rotating it and maintaining the same shape, it means it has been translated. So in other words, my answer here, guys, is what? Is translation. Somebody can say, which translation is that on there? We can check it out. Now we can set our distance from the x-axis did not change. So they are translating from point A up to what? Point D. Let us check the unit. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In other words, my formula for the translation here, if I want to find out, it's gonna be x plus 7, but y remained the same because there was no change. There was no change in what? There was no change in vertically. So my transformation rule, if I may write it down, it's going to be xy gives me what? Gives me x plus 7, and then y remains as it is, because this is sliding, or this translation is only affected horizontally. So this is x plus 7 because there are 7 units, and then the y did not change. Okay, so now talk to me. What's my answer there? So the answer here is what? It's translation. The answer is translation, guys. I hope we are together. The answer is what? Translation. So that is part D. That is option what? Option D. I hope you understand. Don't forget what I said. It's not reflection because from X to the image and object it is not the same, and it's not reduction because the size of the object is the same as that of the image, and it's not enlargement because of the same reason, meaning same object and the same image, nothing was enlarged. But translation by this rule here, which I've just shown you. Okay, let us proceed, guys. Let us proceed. 1.4. The question says that the equation of the straight line drawn below is. Okay, now let us find out this equation for the straight line here. Now, when I want to find out equation for the straight line, this is what you must understand, guys, that my line has got a gradient. You see it is sloping, that's a gradient, and it touches the y-axis, which is the y-intercept. So here I have to identify the gradient and also identify the what? The y-intercept. Alright, when I have that and I use my formula of the equation of the line, which says that what? It says that y equals to mx plus c. Y equals to mx plus c. Now this m is the gradient. Okay, x is a variable, which is of course independent, and then plus c. Now this c is the y-intercept, which means the point on the y-axis where the line is cutting the y-axis. So let us find out this point here. Now I don't know if you see my line properly, but let me just make it a little bit like this. I mean like this, so you can see properly. Now this is my line here. Now if I want to get my intercept, that is c, this is c here, I just look at my y-axis. Hope you see this, guys. Now my y-axis meets the line at this point here, right? So which point is on here? It is y equals to 2. So it means that my c is 2. My c is what? Is 2. Somebody can say, what about this negative 2 here? The negative 2 is called y-intercept. but the positive 2 is called, I beg your pardon, the negative 2 is called x-intercept, but the c in my equation is called y-intercept. So I must take this positive 2 here, right? So my c, guys, is what? My c is positive 2. My c is what? My c is positive 2. Okay. My c is positive 2. Okay. Let me find out the gradient now. Now, to get my gradient here, I have got two methods. If I want, I can get 2 points on the line, any coordinates, and then I use y equals to mx plus c. However, and I use m equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What I'm talking about, teacher? What I'm saying is this, that I can get, for example, this point here. Let me use black now. I can get any 2 coordinates, like let me say this one here, this coordinate here, okay, and then this other coordinate here, okay. Which coordinate is this one here? Talk to me, somebody. The x is 2. The x is 2. What about the y? The y is 4. So the coordinate becomes what? 2 is to 4. 2 is to what? 2 is to 4. That's my coordinate. Okay. And another coordinate which I have here, it is negative 3 is to negative 1. Let me put it here. Negative 3 is to negative 1. Don't forget the order matters. Start with the x, then y values. So it's negative 3 is to negative 1 here. Okay. Now, when I get these 2 points, I can set my first point here. So let me say this again. I can set it's my first coordinate, and so this one becomes my x1, y1. Then my second coordinate, this one becomes x2, y2. So the formula says that gradient m, I'm talking about this m you see here in the formula, this m here, gradient m, this m here, is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Given by what? By y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So my m, which is the gradient here, m equals to what? Equals to y2. It's my y2 here, it is 4. That is 4. That is 4. 4 minus y1. What's my y1? It's negative 1. So don't forget brackets, please. Negative 1 here. Negative 1. Then divide by x2 minus x1. What's my x2? It is this 2 here. So that's the 2 here. Then minus x1. What's my x1? It is the negative 3. Again, don't forget the bracket, please. So negative 3. Okay. Now, if I simplify this one here, I can see that a negative multiplied by a negative makes it positive, So this becomes the plus here. And what is 4 plus 1? I get what? I get 5. I get what? I get 5. So, what about down here? Down here I have 2 minus 3. So again, negative times negative gives me what? Positive. So it becomes 2 plus 3, which is a 5. So now talk to me. What is 5 divided by 5? It gives us what? It gives us 1. It gives me 1. Now, the moment I identify my gradient and my y-intercept, now I have my equation. This is 1, guys, and as you can see, my answer is positive. So it means my equation for this line is going to be y equals to mx plus c. But what is our m? Our m is 1. It's going to be 1 here, 1x, okay, and then plus what? Plus our c, which is this 2 here, okay. So that's plus 2. Let's check our options now. Which option is that? Talk to me. That says y equals to 1x plus 2. Let's check it out. Let's check it out here. So this is the answer, that is y equals to 1x plus 2. So the answer was what? The answer is, it is B. The answer is what? Is B. Let us proceed, guys. Let us proceed. Next page. 1.5 says that at which of the points below will the straight line graph defined by 3y plus 2x plus 1 equals to 0 cut the x-axis? Hey, it's back again. At which of the points below will the straight line graph defined by 3y plus 2x plus 1 equals to 0 cut the x-axis? So don't forget what we said previously. We have just said that the moment we say that the line cuts the y-axis, then what happens? X equals to 0. So likewise here, if they say that the line cuts the x-axis, now this time y equals to 0. Y equals to what? To 0. So the moment they say that that it is cutting the x-axis, so don't you note something? If we say the line cuts the x-axis, what do we mean? We mean at that point y equals to 0. Somebody can say, which line are you talking about? The line defined by this equation, that is 3y plus 2x plus 1 equals to 0. So it's cutting the x-axis at the point where the y equals to 0. So I'm going to write this equation again, but where the I'm going to put 0. So I'm going to write it as what? As like this. It's going to be now 3. Okay. My y is 0, ne? So 3 times 0, right? 2 times 0, and then plus 2x, okay, plus 2x, and then plus 1 equals to what? Equals to 0. So how do I get my answer here? Don't forget that our y equals to what? Our y equals to 0. Why? Because the line is cutting the x-axis at that point. So now 3 times 0 is 0, and the positive 1 after crossing equal sign becomes the negative 1. So I'm going to have what? I'm going to have 2x equals to negative 1, right? X equals to what? Negative 1. Okay, so because I'm looking for x, I divide by what? I divide by 2 both sides. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Now if I cancel this 2 here with this one here, I'm left with x equals to what? X equals to minus a half. So which of the coordinates has x equals to minus a half and when the y equals to 0? So the answer becomes B. The answer becomes what? B. Because it's what? It is x equals negative a half is to 0. Ne? Thank you so much for watching, but we have to continue. Let us continue here. Yeah, they say here that determine the gradient of the line joining 7 is to 5 and 2 is to 9. Then you get your 2 marks, and guess what? Go to grade 10 after getting your 2 marks. Now note something. We want to find out the gradient. Ne? Now in mathematics, this gradient we find it all the time, and because we do that all the time, we give it a letter. Which letter is it? It is m. So whenever you find m means what? Gradient. So this formula for finding gradient is given is m equals to change in y over change in x. That means y2 minus what? Minus y1, okay, divided by x2 minus what? Minus x1, x2 minus x1. So Now somebody can say, but sir, what is your y2 and y1 and x2 and x1? Don't worry about that, because I have now usually what I do myself, the first coordinate takes the one knows, that is to say x1 is 7, y1 is 5. Then the next coordinate takes the twos, that means x2 is 9, y2 is 2. Okay, so when I'm gonna get my gradient m, it's gonna be y2, which is what, which is 2, okay, which is 2, and then minus y1, which is what, which is 5, okay, which is 5 here, divided by what, by x2, which is 9, divided by x2, which is 9, okay, and then minus what, minus x1, which is what, which is a 7. So now you need a calculator maybe, but I don't. Now 2 minus 5 gives us what? Gives us negative 3. Negative 3 here, and then divided by 9 minus 7 gives us 2. So this is our answer. You don't have to stress. You can leave it like it is, okay, it's fine. Or you can say negative 1,5, but however, it's not a big deal. Okay, let us proceed. Next question says, rewrite the equation below in the form y equals to mx plus c and determine the y-intercept and the gradient. Hey, these guys love gradient so much, né? So I need to find the gradient. What's my gradient, guys? It's letter m. What about y-intercept? It's letter c. Okay, so don't forget what I just said, guys. The gradient is our m in the equation. That's m. What about intercept? It is c. So now my problem is to rearrange this equation in the form y equals to mx plus c. So if I can write that equation in this form here, that is y equals to mx plus c, then I'm gonna just look where I see the number which is a coefficient of x, that will be my m, and then that number without x is my c, which is the y-intercept. So let's rearrange this, guys. Let's do so. So here, that is 2x equals to minus 2y minus 4. Okay, let me go slow here because I know some of you are almost starting to complain. So this is 2x equals to what? Equals to minus 2y, equals to minus 2y, minus 2y, and then what else? Minus 2y, then minus 4. Okay, now because I want to make y the subject of the formula, it means this 2y is supposed to cross the equal signs, right? But because it's a negative 2y, it's going to become a positive 2y this side of the equation, and likewise the 2x is going to cross over and come this way. It's going to be now what? A negative. Let me say this again, that the 2y, it's on the right hand side of the equation, but I want it where? I want it this other side of the left hand side. So I'm gonna come here, but it's gonna be what? A positive, because here where it's coming from it is a negative, and then now this 2x is going to come this other side. Okay, and because it is a positive, it's going to become a negative. Okay, let me write it now. Let me do that now. So if I do so, I'm going to say that 2y, which has now become positive, right? 2y equals to what? Equals to negative 2x, equals what? Negative 2x, and then what else? And then as you can see in my equation, originally I was having minus 4. Do you see that? Minus 4 here. So because it never went anywhere, it still remains minus 4. Now somebody can say, why does it not change? Because it did not change the position in the equation, that is to say, did not come from the left hand side to the right hand side like these two did, ne? Okay. Now because I'm looking for y only, guess what? I divide by 2 both sides. Divide by what? By 2 throughout. Divide by 2 here. And divide by 2 here. Now talk to me again. 2 divided by 2, I get 1, so these 2's cancel out. What about negative 2 divided by positive 2? I get negative 1. Get negative 1. What about negative 4 divided by 2? I get negative 2. So now talk to me. What is my answer really? What is my answer? Now I said that my gradient is going to be negative 1, so I'm left with actually y equals to negative 1x, negative 1x. What about my c? Minus 2. Now somebody can say, but sir, for me when I reach there, I don't know how to find the gradient and the y-intercept. You know what? Don't blink. Don't even think here. Just write the equation and compare. Write the general equation, which is what? Which is y equals to mx plus c. Check this out. Y equals to mx. Y equals to mx plus what? Plus c. mx plus what? Plus c. Now this is the general form for the straight line. Okay. Now like we said before, that where there is m, that's our gradient. Let's show here what's my answer now. Talk to me. So my answer here is going to be m is negative 1, right? You see that? What about my c? My c is negative 2. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Note that my m, the gradient, it is what? It's negative 1. What about my c? My c is negative 2. I hope we are together. My c is what? It is negative 2. If you don't understand, please don't worry yourself. Just pause the video and replay it. I'm sure you understand this. Okay. Now, because this is a very important topic, it was asked in so many ways. Okay. Another table is here also. They said that complete the table below and get yourself 5 marks. 5 marks. You know what? 5 marks for Maharane. With an example, can you imagine? With an example here, they said that gradient, y-intercept, equation y equals to mx plus c. They say if the gradient is a half and the intercept is 4, then what is your equation? It is y equals to a half x plus 4. Now, as you can see, guys, you don't even have to think too much here. What have they done? You see, this a half, ne? This a half. They have grabbed it and then taken it and put where there is m. You see that? And then this is 4. They have also grabbed that 4 and they taken it where there is the c. Okay, so this is 4. Is the 4 which you see here. Then why not get their marks? Their half is the gradient which comes here. So you too, to get your marks, do the same thing. Don't even think about it. Anyway, I'm using y equals to mx plus c. What is my m from here? My m is negative 1, so I have to say that y equals to negative 1. Okay, equals negative what? Negative 1. Don't forget the x, negative 1x. What about plus c? My c is negative 1, so minus 1. Ta-da! I'm done. That's my answer. And then if I check what I have now, I have the equation this time. That is y equals negative 6. That's my equation. What about here? I'm looking for the answers now here. Can somebody help me out here? I think Penyu will help me here. Now for me to get my answer here, what I'm gonna do here, mokwanenge mavala. What I'm gonna do here, I can write this one properly. I can say it was the same as saying y equals to 0x, 0x, and then what? 0x plus c. But my c is -6 here, so -6. So now if I compare this one with my equation, which is y equals to mx plus c, I can see that my m is 0, My m is what? 0. What about my c? -6. So because I want to get all the marks, I'm going to say that my m is what, guys? M is 0. This is interesting. M is 0 here. M is 0. What about my c? Now my c is going to be what? It is, we say this number is a -6. So c is -6 here. C is -6. Now what about when m is 0 and the c -3? These were marks for free, Sorry about that, my guys, my colleagues. I'm sorry about this. These were free marks to the learners, because if they know that gradient is 0, you can say 0x minus 3. Or if you are good, you can say y equals -3. Yeah, then you get your marks, no stress. And then what about when the m is -4 and the c is 0? Again, I'm going to say that y equals to mx plus c. But what is our m? Our m is -4, so it's a -4 here. Don't forget the x, because y equals to mx plus c. Okay. What about my c? It is 0. If you want, you can put it there, but if you don't want, you can leave it as y equals -4x. After all, 0 means nothing. Thank you so much for watching, guys, but we have to do what? Continue, because you gotta be ready for your test on the 27th of September. Okay, now next is what? Let's find out. Next page. It said that draw image C prime, the transition of triangle C using the rule x plus 4 and y minus 3 to be done on annexure C. Now, because my question is clear here, I'll use this diagram, this Cartesian coordinate here. Okay, so how do I do it here? Talk to me. I just follow the rule. What does the rule say? X plus 4, and then when you are done, you do y minus 3. So x plus 4 means that you're going to move 4 units to the right. Okay, you move how many? 4 to the right. What about x minus 4? It means the 4 units move to the left. What about y minus 3? It means 3 units down. What about y plus 3? Means 3 units up. Okay, should I say that again? No, just replay the video. Okay, now x plus 4 means 4 units to the what? To the right. Now when we talk about 4 units, we mean actually 4 spaces, guys. Let me show you here. We mean what? 4 spaces. For what? 4 spaces. Now these 4 spaces, we use them to get our image. Now this is our C, which is the object here. Let us find out the spaces here we're talking about. Now this is the first space, that is 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. They said x plus 4, that is 4 to the right, and then y minus 3. Now where you have stopped, you continue. You say now minus 3, that is 1, 2, 3. It stops here. Okay, now this my object has got 3 corners. So another corner, I count again from here up to here. That's 1, 2. Let me use some here. I'm gonna say this is 1 unit up to here. then another unit from here up to that 2, then 3, then 4. Okay, then they say minus that 3 minus means 3 down. Then that is now 1, 2, 3. I come here, right? So I put my marker there. Okay, so that's that. Then the other corner also. Let's take it out as also, and we see this corner here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then minus 3 meaning 3 down. That is 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna put it here. So if I do so, I'm gonna put my. Now I'm gonna use my ruler to get this. To get my what? My triangle here, and that is it, guys. That is it. Get your ruler and draw the what? Draw the triangle. Okay, so that is my ruler here. My ruler. Where are you? It is here. So I come here. Right, this is too big. Oh, what? This is too big now. This is too big. Oh, this is too big. No, like too big. So I have to shorten you. Otherwise, I might make mistakes here. Now, don't forget I want to set lines next. So, but do I even need a rule? I don't need a rule actually, because I have my lines here. So now I'm gonna join some from here. Yeah, from this point here, right? Up to here. Okay, and also from here up to here. Okay, also from here. Yeah, that's our coordinate, or rather our image, which is called what? C prime. So this was the object is C, and this is our C prime. Don't forget on Monday to write your C prime. Okay, that's our answer there, guys. Let's proceed. Now, next question says what? Let's check it out. Let's check it out. It says that draw image B prime, the reflection of B in the x-axis on the grid. Okay, so they're saying draw image B, the reflection. Now, when they say reflection, it means I must be having what? I must be having my mirror somewhere where I'm going to reflect my object to get the image. So they're saying reflection of B in the x-axis. So it means that this is my reflection line, which is the x-axis. Okay, so I'm going to put my mirror on the what? On the x-axis. Okay, let me do that now without wasting time. I'm going to put my mirror here. Now if I put my mirror here, now when something is reflected, it must have the same units, as in the same distance from the object to the image, right? Let's check it out now. So if I do so, I can see that this is my object. So this point here, okay, this is, I'm going to count, this is 1, 2, you see, that's from object to the mirror. What about my image? Also 1, 2. It's going to be here now. You see that? Check this out now. This corner here, this is also 1, 2. What about image? 1, 2. I have it like that. Okay. Then next, as you can see here, this one is somewhere in the middle here. It's going to be also this is 1, 2, 3. What do I do now? 1, 2, then 3. I'm going to put it here. What about the other one here? It's also this point here. That's 1, 2, 3 from the mirror. To the object now. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be here. Okay. What about my other part which I have here? Let me scroll down a little bit. If I scroll down, what do I get here? Check this now. These other corners, ne? I have what? Let's check it out. I have, this is my corner here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now from the mirror, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have my corner here. Then next I this other one here, that is this one here, which is now that's 1, 2, 3, 4. What about now from the middle of the image? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope you guys you are watching this. Now we can join to get our what? Our image, ne? Okay. Now our image, I'm gonna use the straight lines again. It's gonna be running from here, from this point here. Okay. And then from this point here to this one here. Okay. And then from this point to this one here. Also from this point now to this one here. Then from this point to this one here. Okay. Also from this point to this one here. I hope we are together. Now this was letter B for the object. What about my image now? It's gonna be letter what? Letter B prime. So this is my B prime, like I told you. That's my image. Okay, I hope we are together, but we have to proceed. Let's say next that triangle ABC with vertices A 6:0, B 2:8, and C 4:2 is reduced using the rule xy equals to a half x plus a half y. Let's say the resulting image is what? A prime, B prime, C prime. Draw triangle ABC and its image on the given grid annexure E. Now there's no annexure here, so it means I have to go and draw this triangle on what? On annexure E. I think it's on the last page, so we will do that later. However, we can we can get the coordinates for the image. Now the rule says xy is reduced to a half x. Don't forget I'm reducing, because they said the rules to do what? To reduce. Now because they're saying reduce using this rule here, it means that these coordinates must reduce. Like the 6, how do you reduce it? Multiply it by a half. So what is a half times 6? I get what? I get 3. I get what? I get 3. So it's going to be 3 here. It's going to be 3. Do it again. That's case. I'm using my rule, which says that xy is reduced to what? A half x is to a half y. So, and we are saying that a half times x gives us what? A half times x is 6, A half times 6 gives us what? 3. In other words, just divide the coordinates by 2, So 6 divided by 2 gives us what? Gives us 3. So we have 3 here. What about 0? 0 divided by 2 does not change. It remains 0. So this is my image for A. Okay. That's my image for what? For A, and I'm going to call it what? A prime. And then likewise, if I continue with B, now B is 2:8, so like they're saying here, a half x is to a half y, just divided by 2. So what's 2 divided by 2? It is 1. It is 1. What about 8 divided by 2? It is 4. So what's my coordinate? It's going to be 1 is to what? 1 is to 4. 1 is to 4. 1 is to 4. So that's my image. It's going to be B prime, okay? Then next I have C, that is 4:2. So the rule says xy becomes what? A half x is to a half y. So divided by 2 again. What is 4 divided by 2? 4 divided by 2 is 2. Right? It is 2. Maybe C prime here. So what about negative 2 divided by 2? It is what? It's negative 1. negative what? Negative 1, ne? Okay, so now because our annexure is on the last page, these coordinates for the image are going to be drawn, and then this is for the object are going to be drawn as well. Then we join them to get our what? To get our triangle, that is triangle ABC and triangle A prime, B prime and C prime. Somebody can say, but sir, why don't you draw it right now? Okay, no problem. Now our two coordinates, we have what? 6 is to 0, 2 is to 8, 4 is to negative 2. Okay. What do we do here? Now our A is what? 6 is to 0. What about our B? 2 is to 8. 6 to 0, 2 to 8. Okay. 6 to 0, 4 to 8. 6 is to 0, 4 is to 8. 6 is to 0, 4 is to 8. So here we make our own choices, ne? Okay. Now I don't know if it's my triangle properly. My squares here. Okay, I'm gonna get my axis first. Get my axis here. This is my first line here, the y-axis. Inside down here. Now this one in the middle is my 0, ne? Let me make it red. This is my 0 here, my 0 point. Okay. Now each unit, each space of the square is 1 unit, ne? Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they said 6 is to 0. You see this point here. Okay. And then 4 is to 8, ne? This is 5, 4, 8. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. What other where do we have? Okay, check it again now. We have 6 is to 0. ASCII is 2 is to 8, and then 4 is to negative 2. Okay, 2 to 8 for negative 2. 2, 8 for negative 2. 2, 8 for negative 2. 2, 8 for negative 2. 1, 2, then 8, ne? So 2, 8, then 4 negative, that is 3, 4, then negative 2. Let me check again. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, then negative 2. That is 1, then 2. Okay, see here. Somewhere here. So now I'm gonna join these points here to get my what? To get my object before reduction, ne? Hope we are together. Let me use the red color, ne? Yeah, use the red color here. The red color to join this. So if I get my rule again, one here, another one here, also like this. And then this one like this. So guys, this is the object which has been reduced. Ne? Now I want to check the coordinates for the images, then you can plot them as well. Okay, so image we have what? 3 is to 0, 1 is to 4. 3 is to 0, 1 is to 4. 3 is to 0, 1 is to 4. This is 1, 2, 3. Let me use now a black. 3 is to 0. Okay. Then 1 is to 4, ne? Okay. So is it 1 to 4? Let's check it out. Anyway, dividing just by 2. Check. Okay, check it again. 3 is to 0, and then what? And then what? 3 is to 0, and let me check it again. 3 is to 0, and then 1 is to 4. Ne? 1 is to 4. 1 is to 4. 1 is to 4. Okay, this is 1. Ne? 1, then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this one here. Then what else? What else do I have here? I have 2 is to negative 1. Okay, 2 is to negative 1. So this is 0, 1, 2. Negative 1 is here. So I'm gonna join this again now. So like from here, also from here, also from here. So this is my object which was reduced to give me the image, which is this one here. I hope we are together. Don't forget to put the y and then x-axis, because that's very important. This one is our y-axis, this is our x-axis. Also to label the coordinates a, b, and c, and then a prime, b prime, and c prime. Let us proceed, guys. I hope we are together, and I hope you understand this. Okay, next page. Study the following diagram and then answer the questions that follow. Define that BC is parallel to DE, and the D1 angle D1 equals to angle D2. Determine the size of the following angles with the reasons. Okay, so whatever thing we do must have what? Reasons. Otherwise, stop there if you have no reason. And what do we have then? So determine what? Determine D1 plus D2. D1 plus D2. Let's check this out. D1 plus D2. Now to get our D1 plus D2, what do we do, guys? Let's check it out. D1 plus D2. Now this is a triangle here, ne? I have got many triangles, ne? But the biggest triangle, the biggest is on here. This is the biggest triangle, ne? Biggest triangle here. Now when I add the angles at the corners of the biggest triangle, I must get 180, ne? That means angle D plus angle A plus angle E, I must get what? I must get 180. Ne? Reason, angle sum of a triangle. So I'm going to say that D, let me use it now, D plus A plus E, angle D, ne? Angle what? Plus angle A, okay, and plus angle E must give me what? Must give me 180 degrees, ne? So what is our reason? We said angle sum of what? Of a triangle is 180 degrees, ne? Now if I substitute, I'm gonna say what's my D? My D is actually D1 plus D2, ne? So I'm gonna say D1 plus what? D1 plus D2. D1 plus D2, that's my angle D. Okay. And then my angle E is what? E is 70 degrees. What about my angle A? It is 60 degrees, ne? So when the equals are gonna be what? Negative, ne? So it's gonna be equal to 180 minus what? 180 minus what? Minus 60 and minus what? Minus 70. Okay. Now let's get our answers here. So if I check my calculator, 180 minus 60 minus 70, what do I get? 180 180 minus what? 60 minus 70. So this is 180 minus 60 minus 70 equals, I have 50, which means this is 50. So my answer is what? My answer is 50 degrees for D1 plus D2. Hope we are together. I hope we are together. It is 50 degrees. So if I go back to my whiteboard, it means that my D1 plus D2 is what's going to be 50 degrees. So that is 50 degrees. That's 50 what? Degrees. Now in your tests and all other calculations, whatever angle you get, put it there. But here they said something. They said that D1 equals to D2. I don't know if you've noticed that. Let's check it again. They said that D1 equals to D2. So if this is 50 here, what is 50 divided by 2? It's going to be 25, which means it's going to be D1 25. What about D2? Also 25. So we put it there now. I'm going to put D1 is what? D1 is 25. Okay. And D2 is also what? 25. So I'm going to put 25 here. Also 25 here. Okay. Yes, I'm done here, guys. Hope we are together. Don't forget my reason, because they said that you must give a statement and a reason. So after saying that D1 plus D2 is 50 degrees, we must tell us the reason. So we say that here D1 plus D2 plus D2 equals to what? Equals to 50 degrees. What's our reason? Angle sum of a triangle. Angle sum of what? Triangle. So this is angle, then sum, angle sum of what? Of a triangle. Angle sum of a triangle, which is 180 degrees. Okay. Now let us proceed, guys. Now next, what must we find? They said that find what? The sides of angle C1, I can see here C1, C2 and C3. Let's check it out again. Now we need to find C1, C2 and C3. Now if I look at my lines BC and DE, they are parallel, which means that I can use alternating angles, corresponding angles, and so on. So if you look at my C2 here, my C2 is alternate to D2, so it means C2 equals to D2. Why? Because they form letter Z, and I think, remember you said in class that those angles which are alternating, they form letter what? Letter Z. So this C2, the same as the D2, because this is my letter Z here, you see that? So it means that my C2 is 25 degrees. Reason is what? Alternating angle. So my C2 is 25 degrees. C2 is what? 25 degrees. C2 is 25 degrees. So now don't forget the reason. Reason is what? Alternating angles. Alternating angles. Okay. Now let us proceed. Alternating angles. Let's proceed here. Now I have my C2, which is now 25. We said that whatever angle you get, please write it there. This is 25 here. Okay. Now if you look at my C1 and E, they are corresponding. Check this out. This one here and this angle, they are corresponding. Somebody can say, but sir, how do you know that? Because they form letter F. Let me show you here. Letter F like this. Check. If this is my letter F like this, this one here, it's my letter F here. Check. My letter F like this. Okay. Like this one here. Check this out. So my letter F, the angles in there, they are corresponding. So this one, this angle is corresponding to this one here. This one, which is C1, is corresponding to this angle, which is 70. So it means that C1 equals 70 degrees. Okay. So C1 equals to what? 70 degrees. C1 is 70 degrees, guys. C1 is what? 70 degrees. What's my reason? Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Okay. Corresponding what? Angles. Let us proceed. Now I want this one is 70, that's what we said, right? So we put 70 there. Now after putting the 70 here, to get my C3, it is simple. Why? I have a straight line. This is a straight line here. Can I draw it? Yes, teacher. Draw it. Now that straight line, as you can see, that this straight line, this one here, the adjacent angles on a straight line add up to what? Add up to 180 degrees, guys. So it means C1 plus C2 plus C3, they must give me what? Must give me 180 degrees. So when I add these angles which are adjacent on a straight line, I must get 180 degrees. So I'm going to say C1 plus C2 plus C3 equals 180 degrees. What did I say? C1 plus C2 plus C3, I must get what? I must get 180 degrees. I must get 180 degrees. Reason, angles on a straight line. Actually, the reason it should be adjacent angles on a straight line. But what is my C1? That was 70 here. What about our C2? It was 25, so plus 25 here. Okay. Somebody can thought about C3. Come on. That's what I'm looking for. So plus C3 equals to what? Equals to 180 degrees. So I want to get my C3 here. So what do? I'm going to say that C3 equals to 180 minus 25 minus 70. Let's check it out. 180 minus what? 25 minus 70. 180 minus 25 minus 70. Let's check it out. 180 minus 25 minus 70. So what do you get here? We get actually 85 degrees, no? So it means we're going to get 85. So our C3 is 85 degrees. C3 is what? It is 85 degrees. Reason, angles, actually reason is what? Adjacent angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So that's my C3. Thank you so much for watching, but we have to proceed. I know some of you are almost tired, but to get total in your test, please don't give up. Now next is to find which angle. Let's check it out. So we have found D1 plus D2. We found C1, C2, C3. Then what next? Find B1 and B2. B1 and B2. Let's check it out now. B1 plus what? Plus B2. Now my B1, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that properly, but here I can say that B1 is actually corresponding to this angle D. That means D1 plus D2. Watch this, guys. This one here, ne? Again, because I can draw my letter F, ne? I can draw my letter what? Letter F. Now, letter F is for the corresponding angles, guys. So, if my letter F is like this, check. Okay, and these lines are parallel, like it's on here. These are what? Parallel, it's on here, also parallel, it's on here. I can see that my angle B1, this one here, angle B1 is equal to this one because they are corresponding. Why? The lines are parallel. The lines are what? They are parallel. So it means that B1 equals to D1 plus D2. Reason? Corresponding angles, and hence that is 50 degrees. So my B1 equals to what? B1 equals to what? Equals to D1 plus D2. D1 plus D2. D1 plus D2. What's our D1 and D2? That is 25 plus 25, which gives us what? Which gives us 50 degrees. So B1 is what? Is 50 degrees. Who can give us the reason? And the Holy Blessing. Give us the reason. It is corresponding angles. It's what? Corresponding angles. Ne? I hope even Lope understands here. Lope and Baobali Sufi. Sure. Hope you understand this time, because in the class, no, I don't like the way we behave. Okay, so this is corresponding angles. That is D1 equals to what? D1 plus D2. Ne? Okay, so reason is what? Corresponding angles. Now somebody can say, what if me I don't give a reason? Then you lose one mark, because when we are marking, one mark for the statement and one mark for the reason. Okay, so B1 equals to D1 plus D2, which is 50 degrees. That's one mark. And then saying corresponding angles is another mark. Okay, now they said also find the B2. Now for me to get this B2, what do I do here now? I can see that this B2 and the B1, they are also adjacent angles on a straight line. So they add up to 180 degrees. So what? Then you have to do something like this. So B1 plus B2 add up what? 180 degrees. B1 plus B2 add up to 180 degrees. Reason? Adjacent angles on a straight line. So don't forget our B1 was what? Our B1 was equal to 50 degrees. Ne? What was our reason? Corresponding angles. Ne? Corresponding what? Angles. Now let's want to get B2. Now our B1 plus B2, B1 plus B2 equals to what? Equals 180 degrees. Reason being what? Reason being adjacent angles on what? On a straight line. Adjacent angles where? On a straight line. Okay. So reason is adjacent angles on a straight what? A straight line. Add up 180 degrees. Adjacent angles on a straight line. On a straight line. Straight line. Okay. Now since we know the B1, then we can get the B2 right, because it's gonna be now 50 plus what? Plus B2 to give us what? To give us 180. 50 plus B2 gives us what? Gives us 180 degrees. So how do I find my B2 now? Talk to me. So B2 equals to 180 minus what? Minus 50. And what is that? 180 minus 50. I think in Chabeleng is saying it is 30. It is 130 degrees. Ne? So our B2 is 130 degrees. B2 is what? 130 degrees. So therefore our B2 is what? It is 130 degrees. It is 130 degrees. Any questions, please? Any questions? You can inbox me on 0785222041. If you have questions, or if you're studying from somewhere else and you want to join extra classes at Rosteke College, where we attend 3 days in a week, you can still inbox me. Thank you so much for watching. Now, this other question here, it was saying that given the following number pattern, 2, 5, 10, and 17, provide a rule to describe the relationship between the numbers in this number pattern. Now, in such a question, we take the common difference. What is 5 minus 2? 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay. And then what about 10 minus 5? 10 minus 5 is what? It's 5. Okay. What about 17 minus 10? That is what? That is 7. Okay. So because, now take this out. If I say 5 minus 3, I get 2. I get what? I get a 2. I get a 2 here. What about if I say 7 minus 5? Also get what? Also get a 2. So because this pattern has got a second constant common difference, it means that it's not linear. It's going to be quadratic. Now in grade 9, something to do with quadratic, we always inspect. As in, we're trying to see what if our n is squared, our n is n squared, or n squared minus 2, n squared minus 1, n squared plus 1, and so on. So if I try this out and I use my Tn equals to, if I use Tn equals to what? If I use Tn equals to n squared plus 1, let me take it out. Let me take out if it works. If it works, then we are correct. Okay. Now my Tn equals n squared plus 1. It means these are the n values. N can be 1, can be 2, 3, or 4, and so on. So when n equals to 1, that's going to be my T1. So when n is 1, T1 equals to what? Equals to 1 squared plus 1. So what is 1 squared, guys? 1 squared is 1. What about 1 plus 1? It gives me 2. It gives me what? It gives me 2. So if I look at my first term here, it is 2, right? Now I take out T2. If I take T2, it means my n is what? My n is 2. So T2, I'm gonna use, it's gonna be now, because it's n squared, it's gonna be 2 squared plus 1. 2 squared plus 1. 2 squared plus 1. What is 2 squared? 2 squared is 4. What about 4 plus 1? It is a 5. So I get 5 here. If I check this, it gives me 5. Now look at my pattern again. Do I have a 5? Yes, there's a 5 here. Now take the next one. Take T3 just to be sure. Let us check T3 to be sure about this. If we take T3, it's gonna be T of 3. Okay. It's gonna be what? It's gonna be 3 squared. It's gonna be 3 squared plus 1. So what is 3 squared plus 1? Now 3 squared, of course, it is 9. 9 plus 1 gives us what? What is 9 plus 1 lope? 9 plus 1 is 10. Okay, so take my T3 now. T3 here is 10. So it means surely this formula or rule is for this number pattern. So my answer becomes what? It becomes Tn equals to what? Tn equals to n squared plus 1 equals to n squared plus 1. Maybe someone can say, but now, sir, what if you want to show me how you got that rule? I told you in grade 9 we do this by inspection. Okay, so this is n squared plus 1. Somebody can say, what if I want to know how to do it? Then don't worry yourself, just come to grade what? Grade 12. Okay, we'll sure to get this. Okay, now next I said that use your rule to find the 10th term in this number pattern. Now this is my rule here. They want 10th term. So before I find my 10th term, I write down my rule first. Okay, like any other person. So my Tn equals to n squared plus 1. Equals what? Equals n squared plus 1. N squared plus what? Plus 1. So, but they're saying now T10. So T10 is going to be 10 squared plus 1. T10 equals 10 squared plus 1. See more. What is 10 squared plus 1? See more. What is 10 squared plus 1? If you fail it here, also fail it in the test. I promise you. So now 10 squared plus 1 gives us what? Talk to me please. Any person to rescue? Say more. It is 100 plus 1, which gives us 101. Okay. It gives us what? 101. So now that's our answer, guys. The answer is 101. That means T10 is what? T10 is 101. I hope we are together. Let us proceed. Let us proceed. Let us proceed. Now, question 4 was saying that what? A graph of a certain function is given below. They give us this graph here, and now they said that complete the table for this function in the graph. Use the x values as the input numbers and the y values as the function values. So, and we need to for many marks? 5 marks. So we're going to identify the coordinates by ourselves. That's what we are saying here. Now here, what I can tell you, just have to try to be as accurate as possible. But don't forget that the x values are found on the x-axis. What about y values? They are found on the y-axis. So I have to do that now. I'll see if I have to locate again my x-axis. That's my x and y axis. But they're clear here. So guys, this is my x-axis. This is my what? My x-axis here. And this is my y-axis. This is my y what? My y-axis. Okay. Now, because the table contains 5 spaces, we need to find out 5 numbers. Okay, 5 coordinates. Let me now use the red color. Red flex on here. So I'm going to save actually y here. Rather x and then y. Okay, right. Okay, so I need how many? 5. It's gonna be 1 here, 2, 3, 4, then 5. Okay, now let me take this out. I'm going to use my dots. Now when I'm looking at this line here, I see that some of them they are at the corner of 2 lines. That's where I must choose. For example, if I check here, this point here is clear. I see it's at the corner. So if I check here, this is -10. What about going up? Going up is -6. So it means going to have -6 on the x, -6. What about y? -10. Okay. Let me take another one again. If I check again properly here, I can see that another point is here, which is clear. What's on the x? -5. What about y? -8. So it means -5 is to -8. Okay. Another point, let me check now. I have another one here, which is actually -4. It's to -6. Okay. So I'm gonna say -4 here. It's to -6. Okay. -6 here. Let me continue. Another one is here, guys. It is this point here now. What is it? This is -3, and then what? -3, right? Let me check. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. -3 is to -4. Yes. -3 is to what? It's to -4. -3 is to -4. Okay. I can also jump and come this side here. Check another point which is clear here. This one here, it is fine. You can see. This is what? 5 is to, this is 10, 11, 12. 5 is to 12, so I'm going to put 5 here. It's to 12. Okay. I think we're together. What else do I need now? But it's crossing the y-axis at this point here. I don't know if you see it here. That is 2. At y equals to 2, so it is crossing the y-axis. Let's take the question again. Let's check the question again here. They said that write a formula for this function. So now, because it's a straight line here, again I'm going to use the same criterion. That means I'm going to use what? I'm going to use y equals to mx plus c. Y equals to what? Y equals to mx plus c. Mx plus c. Now, what is my m? My m is the gradient. We said you can find gradient by using what? By using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Like I can say this is y2, that's 12 minus 10 over 5 minus 4. What did I say? M. I said m gradient equals to change in y. That means taken y value here. That's 12. That's 12 here. Then minus negative what? It's negative, minus -10. -10 here. Then divided by what? Divided by 5 minus 6. So divided by 5 here. Then minus -6. Now here I don't have to guess this. Please use a calculator. So two negatives give us a positive. What 12 plus 10? It gives us 22. So we have 22 here on top. 22 divided by, what about down here? We have two negative give us what? A positive again. What is 5 plus 6? It gives us 11. So now talk to me. What is 22 divided by 11, guys? It gives us what? It gives us a 2. So my gradient is positive 2. What about my y-intercept? It is this positive 2 also. So the answer becomes what? It becomes y equals to 2x, because my m is 2. Don't forget the x. Then plus c, which is also what? Which is also a 2. Also what? A 2. Okay. Hope we are together. Let me show you something here. Now, you know what? Sometimes if you don't want to calculate the gradient using this one here and you have the graph, you can get direct from the graph by using a triangle. So if I draw a triangle to identify the change in y and the change in x, I can still find my gradient. Let's check it out. If I take this triangle from here, from this point here, and that point there, then I come down here up to where there is another point. Let me say here. Okay, let me say down here where it ends. Then another triangle, another line join. It's gonna be, you can see from this point here up here. Now this one which is vertical gives us change in y. What about this one horizontal gives us change in x? Now to get our change in y, we only count the spaces. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's my change in y, ne? That's 22. It's my 22. Okay. So if that is 22, what about change in x? Let's take it now. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is now 11 here. Now my gradient is change in y divided by change in x, gonna be 22 divided by 11, which gives us what? Which gives us 2. The same answer which we got here. But not something here, ne? That if our line is facing like this one here, like this, ne? Then it will go to negative gradient. All together in mathematics, then this one here, positive gradient, this one here, zero gradient, this one here, this one which is vertical, ne? It is undefined gradient. Undefined gradient. Hope we are together. Let us proceed. Let us proceed to see anything else to be done there. Okay. Alright. Question Roman 2. The last question here. Determine the missing input and output values in the flow diagram below. 7 marks. They say y equals to half x plus 1. So this is my rule here. That's my rule which I have there to get my values. So the rule uses the x value to give me the y values, ne? Okay, so what does the first one say? I'm using y equals to half x plus 1. So to get this y here, ne, I must say that y equals to half x. But what is my x for the first value there? Now my x here, it is 0, ne? See the 0 here, so times 0. All together times 0. When I'm done, I say plus what? Plus 1. Then I get my answer here. So talk to me now. What is 0 times a half? It is 0. 0 plus 1, it is 1. So it means my answer is 1 here. I'm going to put 1 here. Then next, I'm going to use my x as 1. What's a half times 1? It is a half. Half plus 1, 1.5, which is the same as what? Which is the same as 3 over 2. Same as what? 3 over 2. So I'm going to put 3 over 2 here. 3 over 2 here. 3 over 2 here. Now check this out this time. Now they're saying use the y value to get x value. So it means in my rule I have to first make x the subject of the formula. Ne? As you can see, this is positive 1 here. Becomes negative 1 this side. It's going to be y minus 1 equals to what? It's going to be y minus 1, okay, equals to half x. Ne? So remove this 2 from the denominator and multiply by 2, which means I'm going to say this y minus 1 multiplied by 2. When you do so, you get your x value. You get your what? Your x value, okay? Let's take it out. So when my y is 3, it's going to be 3 minus 1, that is 2. 2 times 2, that is 4. So the 3 is corresponding to this 4 here. Let me say it again. I'm saying that when my y is 3, it's going to be 3 minus 1, that is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. What about here now? Here my y is a half, so it's going to be 4.5 minus 1, it is 3.5. 3.5 times 2, it is 7. So I'm going to have a 7 here. I have what? 7 here. Then next, now when my x is 10, I come back here. I'm going to put 10 here. A half times 10, it is 5. 5 plus 1, we get 6. I'm going to put 6 here. When my x is 50, it's going to be 50 times a half. A half times 50, it is 25. 25 plus 1, 26. Ne? I'm going to put 26 here now. 26 here and then. Now lastly, when my y is 51, I come back here. 51 minus 1, that is 50. 50 times 2 is 100, so I'm going to put 100 here. I'm going to put what? 100 here. Okay. Now guys, this is our last question here, but I'm saying thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to practice for the test, please. Don't claim this video, understand? If you want to join our extra classes, we are found at Rose Tech College in Pulukwani. That's on 92 Skuman. You attend 3 days in a week, and why not get your marks? Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. This is Patrick Kamala on 0785 222 041. Bye. Catch you in the next video.